Hi, I'm Sandy Duran. You're about to see me give a very simple test that you can use to determine whether your child in grade 4 or above is doing well enough in reading to actually function in school. I know sometimes as a parent it can be very confusing. You start to worry and people talk to you and you don't know whether you're worrying when you shouldn't be. So this test is very simple and it's going to help you decide whether your concerns are actually warranted. And the best thing is, it's only going to take you about 15 minutes to do. Okay? So let's begin by taking a look at how you can get the best results as you give this test. First, get a copy of your child's science or social studies book. You will want the textbook that the teacher uses in school for your child's grade level. If there is no textbook, ask for any printed material that the teacher has your child read for science or social studies. Next, choose a chapter that your child has already read, but not too recently. You will want something covered a few months ago. Make a copy of a few pages from the book. Now you're ready to work with your child. Be sure you are in a quiet room where you will not be interrupted. Begin by setting the tone. You will notice in the video that I make the child feel very comfortable. This should not be a pressured atmosphere. Reassure your child that you just want to listen to him read a few pages. If he has trouble, that's okay. He is just to do the best he can. Sit adjacent to your child as you see in the video. This will make it easier for you to help him if he loses his place. As your child reads, mark any errors he makes on your copy of the textbook pages. Remember to mark a line through each word read incorrectly, and that means anything read incorrectly. Even if the word has an S on the end and he omits the S, that counts as a word read incorrectly. Circle each word that your child leaves out. So if he omits a word, just circle it. Place a caret where extra words are inserted. For example, if he says the or and those words do not appear in the text, place a caret there. You will probably not want your child to read all 2 pages. 1 page or even less is fine. You will know when to stop when you have a clear indication of how your child is doing. If he struggles very much through that first paragraph, just stop there. When you have determined it is time for your child to stop reading, remove the book so that he can no longer see the passage. Ask your child 5 or 6 questions about the passage. It is good to begin with a general question, such as, "Can you tell me about what you just read?" You want to think of these questions beforehand, so just think about what you might want to ask him and write that down. Try to determine whether your child has really grasped the big picture and a few details from the reading. Okay, we're almost ready to bring out the child. This time we have a 5th grade young lady for you. Very sweet young lady, and I asked her to get her social studies book for me, and I chose something that she read probably about a month ago. So let's see how she does in reading the textbook that she's expected to read in her classroom every day. Okay, let's see how she does. We're going to read today a little bit about the Bill of Rights. Do you know anything about the Bill of Rights?
The Bill of Rights is a piece of paper signed by many people. And it's basically like a law telling you that you have your rights to do certain things.
Good, yeah. It was added to the Constitution, and it talks about our freedoms that we have in this country. Good. Okay, I'm going to ask you to start reading right here. It says introduction, and then you can just start reading right here if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. To James Madison, the creation of the Constitution seemed nothing less than a miracle. By 1788, however, it seemed that it would take another miracle to get it adopted. The adoption of the Constitution depended on ratification ratification or approval by the 9 of the 13 states. The ratification started off smoothly with Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut all saying yes. Then came Massachusetts, where opposition ran strong. When Massachusetts ratification convention met early in 1788, defeat seemed certain. The opponents objected that the Constitution did not list the rights of people. Many delegates said they would not list the rights of the people.
Oops. Yeah, I think you just did the same line. Okay, so many delegates. Let's see where you are. I think you just lost your place for a minute there. Let's see, where does it say? Okay, so not list the rights of the people. Many delegates, right here, many delegates.
Said they would not vote in favor of ratification unless such lists were added. In the description of Constitution's supporters, the Federalists looked at John Hancock, the governor of Massachusetts. Hancock had stayed away from the convention, pleading in painful attack of gout, a form of artist, in his feet. In fact, he was waiting to make an appearance until he could be sure he would be on the winning side. The federal.
Okay, wow, that was a little tricky reading, wasn't it? Did you take anything out of that? What comes to mind after you read that? What kinds of things did you find out?
I found out that the Bill of if the Bill of Rights wasn't signed, George Washington couldn't be president.
Oh, wow. Good. Okay, was it easy to go through that process to get the Bill of Rights signed?
No.
How did Massachusetts feel about all of this? Do you remember?
They didn't like it.
Okay, good. You were getting a lot out of that. Do you remember who the Federalists were, by any chance? It's a little tricky. Okay, so they were the people that wanted the Constitution, right? The Federalists were hoping for it, but at first Massachusetts was against it. And they kind of did a little trick to pull it off. Do you remember what they did in there, what the Federalists tried to do?
They tried to make the governor of Massachusetts vote. Well, not vote.
Okay. Why do you think the Bill of Rights is important?
So we can have our freedom.
Yeah, that's right. You had a little bit of a hard time. There were some hard words in there, right? But you always surprise me because even when it's a little tough, you're thinking, and you always surprise me that you understand well what you read. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorna Kaufman, and I'd like to talk to you about the tape that you just watched of the little girl in the 5th grade who was reading her social studies book, the book that is used in her classroom. We were reading a section that the class has previously studied. We Xeroxed a page from her textbook, and then Sandy was following along with a Xerox copy while she was reading from the actual textbook. At this grade level, there's no longer instruction in the classroom for reading. What you really want to know is if your child can manage the reading demands from the classroom, especially in the areas of nonfiction where they're going to be expected to be learning information. I recommend that you use either their science or their social studies textbook. This little girl currently gets help in the Learning Center for Reading. She's fluent in English, but English is not her first language. You can see that she made a lot of errors. I calculated her error rate as at 13%. That's quite a high error rate. I tried to analyze the words that she was having difficulty with, and she had particular trouble with multisyllabic words, especially words of more than 2 syllables. She also had a lot of trouble with vocabulary. That's particularly interesting since this is an area of the text that the classroom had previously studied. She is not a fluent reader. She made numerous decoding errors. It wasn't actually clear to me what she understood from her reading. I would probably explore that a bit more with her, asking her more comprehension questions to find out what she recalled and what she understood. I think this little girl would benefit from a reading evaluation. We need to investigate both her decoding skills and her comprehension issues. An evaluation can help tailor her remediation to her specific needs. I think it would also be important that she read for practice on a daily basis for at least 45 minutes every day during the summer. Practice is so important at her stage of reading. For example, it can be particularly helpful for her to preview her 6th grade curriculum in social studies by reading some biographies during the summer. Select biographies of people who she will encounter in her 6th grade social studies curriculum. Her parents can talk to her 6th grade teacher and get some recommendation of some historical figures. This will give her a leg up in social studies and an opportunity to practice her reading. She should select books at her reading level, not at her grade level. Librarians can be extremely helpful to families in guiding children to books that are at their level and at their interest.
Okay, now it's time for you to evaluate your own child. If you have any questions at all after you do the test, follow the directions on the website for getting feedback. Good luck. You'll do a great job.